Hello, this is Jeffrey Tiller back with another service management and leadership video. Thank you for joining us on this channel. Hope you'll look around at some of our other videos. Today's topic is one where I want you to consider something. Consider what all constitutes a configuration item, a CI, in your environment, in your organization. Many companies do not put thought into this question, and they end up with a conundrum of sorts. Let's back up a step. We acknowledge that there are many CIs that can go into organization, into our CMDB, that are 100% CIs. There's no argument. And even the attributes of those CIs. But at the same time, the more we track, the more granular we make our CIs, the more it costs us to maintain them. Don't you think that's correct? If I have 1,000 CIs versus 100,000 CIs, which one's going to be easier to audit, easier to make sure is correct, keep the baselines, all that fun stuff? Well, the answer is easy. But if you want to mature your CMDB and mature some of your ITSM program, I want to offer a few suggestions to become CIs. I wanted to put the negative part first, and then let's talk about the positive. Is your process documentation a CI in your organization? Many companies and organizations that this is, many they are not. There's more positives than negatives on becoming a CI. Especially any change to process documentation requires a change. A CRQ that usually goes through the cab. Don't we want that? Don't we want that visibility that we're changing process? How about your training documentation for all of your processes? Don't you want a change if you're moving it from over here to over here? Yes, you do. Or even change the stylistic look of that training documentation. So just the content changes can be standard changes, no big deal. But I want to encourage you to consider what is a CI in your environment. How about, so you have a server, it's a CI, yay. How about the hard drives that make up that server? Are those, or are they just attributes? It could go either way. Same with network equipment and network cards that go in those routers or those switches, right? You can play this game for anything. And so, I say game, isn't it a game anyway? But however we define it, those are what we're going to have to live by, because that's what we're going to discover, that's what we're going to reconcile to. And so I want to encourage you to have a plan of what is a CI and what is not. Because once we start putting in changes and incidents and things like that, it's hard to change. Here's the one rule of thumb that I use on what is a CI. One question. If it broke, would you have an incident ticket on that? Meaning, if our training documentation was blown away in a fire, would we have an incident? I think the answer is usually yes. Same with process documentation. Where it gets tricky is, how about a server hard drive versus the server itself? You could make the case that in some environments that should be an attribute, in some those are CIs, because of the impact that would be caused if that one hard drive was out. Every company's different, we get it. But we want you to consider what should it look like for your organization. This is Jeffrey Tiller. Thank you for joining us today. Please look around at our other videos. Like or share the videos. Subscribe to our channel. Leave us feedback or comments below. We'd enjoy hearing from you. Have a great day. Bye.